This is the Spatial Media Expert Series presented by Skyrim.ai. In this episode, we recap all 14 episodes of Season 1 and share the key takeaways from each.
You've joined us today for a strategic look at what was really an incredibly insightful journey. I'm talking about all 14 episodes of the Skyrim.ai Expert Series, which focus so intensely on the future of sports media and tech. And look, this isn't just going to be a recap. It's really about distilling the most important, actionable strategic takeaways for industry leaders like you. You know, the decision makers really shaping where sports media is headed next.
That's exactly right. If you followed the series, you probably recognized how powerfully it illuminated that sports media stands at a genuine inflection point, a really pivotal moment. It laid out, I think, a pretty clear path towards a future that's going to be defined by immersive technology, by artificial intelligence, and crucially, by the rapidly evolving demands of fans. And this fundamentally changes how we need to think about everything, from, content production and delivery, right through to effective monetization strategies.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So get ready as we unpack the core themes that kind of wove through the entire series that drive towards deeper interactivity, hyper-personalization, and breaking down those traditional barriers that have governed sports content for so long. We're going to revisit each episode, looking at how these powerful themes show up and really distill the key insights that can directly inform your strategic decisions for the future of sports media. Okay, so our journey began with Episode 1, Spatial Sports Media 101, What It Is and Why It Matters. This one really set the stage, defining spatial sports media as, the next evolution in sports broadcasting. Can you maybe tell us a bit more about what that actually involves?
Sure. It's essentially capturing live action in 3 dimensions. Think volumetric 3D capture. It allows fans to virtually move around the scene, choose any viewpoint they want, almost as if they're right there on the field alongside the players. It really starts to blur the line between just passively watching a game and, actively engaging with it, almost like a video game. And what's really critical for you as leaders is understanding the tech progression here. We've moved from Volumetric 1.0 up to 3.0. Skyrim.ai's Echo model, for instance, is using AI to significantly cut the camera requirements needed. We're talking maybe 30 cameras instead of, say, 90 for a soccer pitch.
Yeah.
That makes these real-time 3D experiences feasible at a scale we just haven't seen before.
Right, so we're moving beyond just the angles the broadcaster chooses for us. This tech actually makes those quote-unquote impossible replays possible, like a fan at home pausing a live game and then literally flying around a crucial play in 3D slow motion, seeing every single angle. That's a huge shift in viewer empowerment.
Exactly. And the strategic imperative here is pretty clear. The sports industry, it's a massive market, roughly $230 billion, just, ripe for this kind of disruption. Younger fans, they've grown up with sophisticated video games. They now expect interactive, personalized experiences. For them, frankly, traditional 2D broadcasts can feel a bit antiquated.
Yeah, I can see that.
So for you, making an early move into spatial sports media, maybe offering something like an interactive 3D season pass, it isn't just a gimmick. It's a critical path to captivate these younger demographics and, importantly, unlock substantial new revenue streams that maybe your competitors aren't quite seeing yet.
Building right on that, Episode 2, Hollywood Meets Sports Production Techniques Crossing Over, showcased how sports broadcasts are increasingly borrowing filmmaking techniques to really elevate the storytelling. And this is where it gets genuinely interesting, I think. We're seeing broadcasters use those shallow depth DSLR and cinema cameras like Fox's famous Megalodon rig, right, to create these incredibly cinematic movie-like visuals. We're talking portrait mode shots making players pop, HDR color grading, 8K super slow-mo replays. I mean, the last Super Bowl apparently used 147 cameras, capturing every subtle detail, even blades of grass, at 4 to 8 times slower than real time.
And that convergence, it doesn't stop with just the cameras. We're seeing virtual production and augmented reality techniques straight out of movie VFX entering the sports arena. Think about AR Coach's View, play diagrams appearing live on screen, or even virtual crowds filling stadiums. It's pretty amazing stuff. And beyond just the visuals, AI is revolutionizing post-production. Automated highlight generation, that's mainstream now. WSC Sports uses it for the NBA, La Liga. AI is even assisting directing, recommending optimal camera cuts. Some broadcasters, like NBC, are even testing AI-generated commentary. They're planning an AI clone of Al Michaels' voice for Olympic recaps.
Oh, okay, so for you as an industry leader, The strategic insight here is that production value is now like a core competitive differentiator. It's no longer just about capturing the live action. It's about transforming a game into a cinematic event that demands higher engagement, right?
Absolutely. And it's not just about efficiency gains from AI, though that's part of it. It's really about raising the bar for emotional connection. That drives subscription value, it drives brand loyalty by turning every single game into an epic mini-movie that can actually rival premium entertainment offerings. Then, our third episode, United for Immersion, How the XR Sports Alliance is Shaping Sports' Future, shifted focus a bit, looking at the power of industry collaboration. The XR Sports Alliance, or XRSA, it's a global coalition, launched in 2024 by Acito, Qualcomm, and HBS, and now it includes major players like Google, Red Bull, Skyrim.ai too, their whole mission to fast-track extended reality, or XR, which is, everything from virtual to augmented to mixed reality in sports.
The need for an alliance like this feels so obvious when you think about it. Because those past XR and VR sports experiments, they were often so fragmented, weren't they? Just one-off projects, no real standards, sky-high costs, and honestly pretty unclear ROI.
Exactly. They were hampered by that fragmentation, by high R&D costs, and innovation is happening in silos. So the XRSA's game plan is basically to establish a neutral hub for sharing knowledge, define common standards, which is huge, and run joint pilot programs, like creating common volumetric video formats.
Okay, so everyone's not reinventing the wheel.
Precisely. And this is absolutely vital for your business strategy. The future of spatial sports media and XR, it won't be shaped by one company alone. It just won't. It's going to be driven by a really robust ecosystem working together. Collaboration through alliances like the XRSA is essential to break down those barriers, ensure device compatibility, and establish clear monetization frameworks. That's how immersive viewing actually becomes mainstream at scale, not just a series of, cool but isolated experiments.
Moving to episode 4, Engaging Gen Z Short Form, Social, and the Future of Sports Viewing. Now, this episode really tackled one of sports media's biggest challenges. How do you actually capture the attention of Gen Z fans? And the data here is, frankly, a bit of a sobering wake-up call. Only about 30% of 18 to 24-year-olds regularly watch full live games. More than half prefer highlights or just following games through social media. A striking 74% get most of their sports content this way.
Yeah, and it's not just about a short attention span, which is kind of the easy explanation. It's more about a high opportunity cost for attention.
Traditional linear broadcasts, for many of them, just feel too slow. And a third of Gen Z, they simply don't watch live sports on TV at all. This generation, they often bond more with individual athletes, think Steph Curry's Instagram, than they do with entire teams. But crucially, authentic storytelling, like we saw with Netflix's Drive to Survive, that can absolutely hook them in. Okay. But while the data clearly shows Gen Z loves short form and follows athletes, is there maybe a risk that by constantly chasing that, we accidentally dilute the broader community feeling of supporting a team or a league? How do you strike that balance?
That is a critical strategic question, absolutely. The move for you has to be embracing a mobile-first, on-demand, and personalized approach. It's about meeting them where they are. Leagues are already getting aggressive, producing highlights and social content. Think of Australia's Kayo Sports and their Kayo Minis, those condensed game packages, 2 5-minute highlight reels. They were incredibly successful. They found 15-second clips were watched for around 8 seconds on average. That's way above the norm.
Interesting.
So for your business, engaging the next generation means providing that short, exciting, shareable content. But the strategy is to use that to funnel them back to the broader team or league narrative, not replace it entirely.
Right, makes sense. Episode 5 then unpacked a major crisis from 2023-2024. The RSN reckoning, how teams are adapting with direct-to-consumer streaming. This one really raises a huge question. How do you strategically adapt when a core revenue stream just completely implodes? Cord cutting just gutted those regional sports network or RSN subscriber bases.
Yep.
We saw Diamond Sports, Bally Sports go bankrupt under $8 billion in debt. And those former Fox RSNs sold for $20 billion in 2018, valued at just $600 million by 2024. That's a shocking 97% decline.
Yeah, it was brutal. But the strategic response from teams has been remarkably swift, actually. They're pivoting rapidly to direct-to-consumer or DTC and over-the-air OTA broadcasts. Take the Phoenix Suns. They terminated their Bally deal, partnered with local TV for free OTA broadcast, tripling their reach to 2.8 million homes, and simultaneously launched Suns Live, a DTC streaming app for $15 a month. The Vegas Golden Knights, the Utah Jazz, they did similar things. We even saw the Washington Wizards ownership buy out their RSN to create Monumental Sports Network, offering streaming with alternate angles.
So what's the key takeaway here for our listeners, for the industry leaders?
Well, for your business, the RSN reckoning isn't just a financial crisis. It's really a forced strategic reset. It compels a new fan-first approach, one that prioritizes maximum reach and building direct relationships over clinging to that decaying pay TV revenue model. Teams taking control of distribution through a beam and stream, hybrid strategy-free broadcast TV for broad reach, plus direct streaming for premium engagement, they're the ones who are going to win. It ensures games are accessible, and it allows you to cultivate that crucial first-party data and direct fan relationships, which, yeah, might mean a short-term revenue dip, but promises a far greater long-term payoff in loyalty and monetization.
Okay, episode 6 then gave us a really fascinating, maybe a bit technical deep dive, demystifying spatial media formats from point clouds to neural radiance fields. Now, spatial media sounds futuristic, but for many of us, the actual mechanics of 3D capture are still, a bit of a black box. Can you help demystify these formats for us and explain the breakthroughs that now make live spatial sports media actually possible?
Absolutely. Let's try. Think of it like this. Those legacy 3D formats, point clouds, meshes, voxels, they were high fidelity, sure, but they were like sending the entire raw video file for every single angle you might possibly want to see. They created these massive files. Intel's TrueView, for example, could produce a terabyte of data for just a 30-second clip. And they required 20 to 100 plus cameras, which just made them largely impractical for widespread live streaming.
Right, so a huge amount of data, huge amount of hardware, basically not scalable for live events.
Exactly, not scalable at all. And this is where neural radiance fields became a real game changer around 2020. Instead of explicitly storing all that geometry data, neural radiance fields encode the entire scene in the weights of a neural network. Essentially, you train a brain that can generate any view of the scene on the fly. Now, initially they were slow, but rapid progress like NVIDIA's instant neural radiance fields has cut training time from hours down to minutes.
Okay, so that's the leap.
That's the leap. And for your business, this isn't just a technical detail. It's the strategic pivot point. It's where interactive 3D goes from being an expensive niche experiment to potentially a scalable live reality. It radically cuts hardware costs and opens up entirely new distribution models.
And Skyrim.ai's Echo, representing volumetric generation 3.0, is kind of the culmination of this, right? Purpose-built for streaming interactive 3D video.
Yes, exactly. Echo, because it's trained on massive amounts of sports footage, can infer a full 3D scene from far fewer cameras. We're talking up to 2/3 less than previous methods. It really emphasizes real-time reconstruction, enabling true live volumetric broadcasts. Its output is a streamable neural format. The heavy 3D data stays server-side, and devices just receive an interactive lightweight stream. This means, honestly, a live volumetric Super Bowl is suddenly within reach because the broadcast demands for quality and speed can now be met with significantly less hardware.
Moving to something a bit lighter. Episode 7, Cartoon Craze in Sports, How Animated Broadcasts Are Captivating New Audiences. This explored that fun and actually really effective trend of animated alternate broadcasts of live games. It kicked off strong, didn't it? January 2021, NFL Wildcard and Nickelodeon, Virtual Slime Cannon, SpongeBob graphics. Then March 2023, ESPN Disney aired the NHL Big City Greens Classic, recreating a live game in real time as a 3D animated world from the cartoon. NFL followed in October 23 with Toy Story Fun Day Football on Disney+, broadcasting a game like it was happening in Toy Story's world. Toy players, Pixar characters. It was surreal, captivating, and importantly, live.
Yeah, and what's truly strategic about these isn't just that they're novelties. They're actually a clever Trojan horse to grow fandom.
Yeah.
They strategically capture kids' attention by meeting them on their turf cartoons and gently introducing them to the sport in a way they understand and enjoy. And they've seen strong viewership, significant social media buzz. The tech behind it is quite sophisticated too. Real-time player tracking, feeding into game engines like Unreal Engine, rendering the animated version live.
You know, seeing SpongeBob on an NFL broadcast was definitely wild, but it clearly hit home with kids. It really shows how far we've moved from just traditional commentary. It almost makes you wonder which cartoon character is hosting the Super Bowl next. But seriously, for you as leaders, alternate broadcasts are a powerful, scalable strategy to expand your audience base. Whether you're targeting kids with cartoons, engaging bettors with dedicated data streams, or creating influencer-hosted hangouts, one live game can essentially have multiple skins to serve wildly different fan segments. It really highlights how live animation tech opens up entirely new, highly engaging content formats.
Then episode 8, Sports AI Agents Personalizing the Fan Experience, really dove into the next big frontier, AI-driven personalization. This introduces the concept of a sports AI agent. Think of something like Skyrim.ai Sports Agent, which is set to roll out in 2025. This isn't just, a simple chatbot. It's a smart digital assistant acting like a personal concierge for fans. Imagine telling your device, show me the goalkeeper's view of that last save, or maybe, what's this player's vertical leap, and getting an instant tailored response.
Wow, that sounds incredibly powerful, almost like having a personal digital GM for your sports viewing. But for an industry that's traditionally delivered a mass broadcast, what are the biggest hurdles, maybe technically, ethically, or even culturally, to moving towards truly individualized AI agents for every single fan?
That is precisely the challenge, and also the opportunity. Technically, yeah, it requires immense data processing and tight integration across various platforms. That's not trivial. Culturally, it means shifting from that one-size-fits-all broadcast mindset to truly embracing individual preferences. But this agent, it understands your preferences. Are you a stat geek, a casual fan, and serves up content accordingly? On-the-fly advanced stats, flashy AR visuals, unique camera angles. It even helps you seamlessly switch devices, maybe from your TV to a VR headset. And it integrates with everything: OTT, streaming platforms, betting platforms, data analytics from Sportradar, player health updates, becoming a one-stop hub for relevant info, cutting through all the noise.
So for your business, AI personalization is truly the next frontier in sports media, kind of like what Spotify did for music consumption. It fundamentally changes that fan relationship, boosts enjoyment, and creates significant new monetization opportunities through things like personalized sponsored content or upsells that are directly relevant to that individual viewer. Expect your sports apps and smart TVs to soon come with a friendly AI sidekick.
Then episode 9, Spatial Sports Media in the Living Room, a new era of interactive viewing, took that concept of spatial media we defined back in episode 1 and really painted a vivid picture of it in practice for consumers across a whole range of devices.
Right, so this isn't just about those fancy, maybe niche gadgets, is it?
Yeah.
Tell us how spatial media actually reaches everyday devices people already have.
Not at all. I mean, sure, XR headsets offer the ultimate immersion. You can literally look around the play. That's incredible for presence. But yeah, still a niche for solo deep dive experiences. The real scalability comes from broader access. Think game consoles, Xbox, or PlayStation. Fans can navigate spatial replays right on their TV using a controller, effectively turning a highlight into a playable moment, fly around a dunk, check a controversial call from any angle. It brilliantly blurs the lines between gaming and viewing. Even on mobile devices, interactive viewing is as simple as touch gestures. Swipe to rotate, pinch to zoom, or physically move your phone with AR mode enabled. Imagine pausing a live stream on your phone, replaying a spectacular dunk from any angle. It's portable, it's shareable.
And for those of us who still prefer our traditional living room setup, the big screen.
That's the beauty of it. Even a regular smart TV can offer interactive features with just the remote. Using the arrow keys to orbit the camera, switch perspectives. It adds an option without completely overhauling how people watch TV, making interactivity accessible to a really broad audience. Skyrim.ai's Atlas platform is key here. It captures the game in 3D, handles the reconstruction, and then streams an interactive feed. Crucially, the viewer's device isn't doing the complex 3D rendering. It's just receiving a video stream that dynamically changes based on your input. This means a single live capture can simultaneously feed a VR user, a console user, someone on their phone, and a TV app, each getting their device's optimal level of interactivity.
Okay, so for you, the takeaway is spatial sports media isn't confined to fancy gadgets. It's genuinely adaptable to all channels. Integrating these interactive features into mainstream broadcasts is a powerful way to re-engage fans, maybe keep them from tuning out. This cross-device flexibility is key for wide adoption and offers new monetization avenues, like maybe an interactive mode as a premium subscription tier. It's a chance for traditional TV to feel fresh and interactive again.
Next up was Episode 10, Emerging Sports Leagues Captivating Fans. This one profiled some of those upstart sports leagues that are really reinventing engagement and breaking the traditional mold. And it raises an important strategic question. What can established leagues, often constrained by tradition, learn from these agile newcomers? We saw Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy's tech-infused TGL, Tomorrow's Golf League, launched in 2024. Played indoors, massive simulator screen, actual short game area, players mic'd up. Fans hear the trash talk, the strategy. It's fast-paced, team-based, averaged 810,000 TV viewers, peaked over 1 million, and notably the audience skewed much younger. A big uptick in that 1849 demo.
Yeah, and then there's the Kings League. Gerard Piqué's 7-on-7 soccer league in Spain, launched in 2023, wildly popular. It masterfully blends sports with influencer culture and these video game-like twists like secret weapon cards, shorter games. Each team's owned by popular streamers, driving absolutely massive online engagement. Over 500,000 concurrent viewers for regular games on Twitch and YouTube, 2.1 million peak for the finals. And they filled Barcelona's 90,000-seat Camp Nou for that final. And, impressively, 85% of its audience is under 35.
These emerging leagues, they're basically acting as innovation labs. For your business, they strategically demonstrate that if you're willing to break the mold, shorten games, mic up players, deeply integrate social media, actively involve the audience, fans will reward you with attention, with loyalty. They offer invaluable lessons on how to attract younger audiences and grow fandom quickly, even without decades of history. It's a blueprint for mainstream sports to adapt and maybe captivate new fan segments.
Episode 11. Destination viewing in the short-form era, how sports and influencers are shaping the future of media, took a broader media view. It analyzed that interplay between destination viewing, those big, live, must-see events, and the explosion of short-form influencer-driven content. So what does this all mean for the future of those massive live events? Are they under threat?
It's a crucial dynamic to understand. Short-form sports content highlights clips it's growing faster in consumption than full live games are. Roughly 40% of young respondents actually avoid live broadcasts in favor of condensed content. 90% of Gen Z sports fans consume sports via social media, and many say athlete posts increase their engagement. This means leagues absolutely must ramp up their short-form output just to maintain interest. It's becoming table stakes.
Yeah, and one of the most eye-opening parts was how influencers are basically creating their own destination events, right, to galvanize their communities. We saw Mr. Beast's hashtag Team C's raising over $30 million, millions tuning in. Ryan Trahan's Penny Challenge, those creator boxing matches, KSI versus Logan Paul, massive audiences, sold-out arenas. They build storylines, rivalries, just like traditional sports.
And that's the link. Both traditional sports and successful creators, they nurture an incredibly strong sense of community. Leagues are wisely adopting influencer tactics, direct fan engagement, using memes, collaborating with them, like the NFL partnering with Dude Perfect for that ultimate trick shot broadcast. The influencer ecosystem for your business isn't just competition, it's actually an enhancement and distribution channel for sports content.
So the strategic imperative for media players seems to be combining that personalized short-form engagement to funnel fans into the big live can't-miss experiences. And spatial media, as we discussed, can uniquely bridge that gap, enabling live experiences that are both interactive and communal. Imagine that live volumetric stream. Each viewer picks their angle. That's personalized, but everyone's watching the same live moment that's shared. This approach generates way more content angles from a single event, feeding the short-form beast without detracting from the main event. It ensures destination viewing evolves and thrives.
Moving on to episode 12. From 2K to real play, bringing video game ad personalization to live sports. This argued that advertising in sports is about to get a significant upgrade. What's really compelling here is how gaming has already brilliantly paved the way for a smarter, more effective advertising model. Popular sports video games, NBA 2K, FIFA, Madden, they've had dynamic advertising for ages. Different in-game billboard ads displayed based on player, region, or profile. And crucially, 61% of gamers are actually fine with in-game ads if they fit the context, don't disrupt gameplay. It's kind of conditioned them to personalized, integrated ads.
And the data backs this up, right? Personalized ads way outperform generic ones. 80% of consumers more likely to purchase, companies boosting revenues up to 40%. And the frustration with generic content is real. 76% get frustrated when content isn't personalized. So how does spatial sports media make this happen for live games?
It basically provides the digital canvas needed. To do personalized ads in live games, you need the ability to digitally alter what each individual viewer sees. Spatial sports media makes this possible. It allows broadcasters to insert virtual ads onto field signage, court floors, maybe the glass in hockey, tailored precisely to each feed, region, or demographic group. So two people watching the exact same NBA game could realistically see different arena ad banners based on their unique data profiles.
Okay, so for you, the decision makers, this unlocks entirely new ad inventory without just cluttering up the screen. One physical sign, potentially infinite digital ads rotating through it, customized for each viewer. Sports broadcasting will essentially adopt the precision of digital advertising. That improves the fan experience, relevant ads are less annoying, and improves sponsor results because they're targeted. This is a huge opportunity to unlock significant new value and revenue, effectively turning your sports content into a dynamic, subtly customized video game environment for each viewer.
Then, Episode 13, One Stadium, Infinite Broadcast, the Globalization of Sports Streaming, really highlighted how digital streaming is just obliterating those old regional silos of sports broadcasting.
Okay, let's unpack this global shift. The NFL actually tested this in 2024, didn't they? Netflix streamed 2 NFL games globally on Christmas Day to its 200-plus country footprint, drew around 30 million global viewers each, and then the NFL announced a YouTube-free global live stream for a 2025 game in Sao Paulo, leveraging YouTube's massive global user base. It just proves the demand exists when you remove the friction, right? And it builds worldwide fandom.
Absolutely. And look at Apple's MLS Season Pass, a pioneering model in 2023. Partnered with Apple, 10-year deal, put every single MLS game on Apple TV plus Season Pass globally. The key things, no blackouts, one service, over 100 countries, plus multiple language options, home team radio announcers, really catering to diverse global audiences. And with Messi signing, Season Pass grew to over 2 million subs by the end of 2023. What this demonstrates for you strategically is that globalization isn't just geographical anymore. It's about the ability to produce many customized versions of a single broadcast from one live capture.
Right, because spatial media and advanced streaming tools mean you can algorithmically create different virtual camera angles, graphics, commentary feeds, maybe a kids feed, a data-heavy feed, multiple languages, even a home team bias commentary, all from the same core video and data feed without needing loads of extra on-site camera crews for each version. So for your business, globalization isn't coming, it's here. The strategic focus has to shift to maximizing reach and personalization for global audiences. Tech giants clearly see live sports as a powerful way to drive platform usage, which for you translates into new revenue streams, direct subs, global sponsors.
And finally, Episode 14. From pirates to paying fans, the season finale tackled that multi-billion-dollar problem, sports piracy. This raises a really crucial strategic question. How do we actually transform a problem as entrenched as piracy into a profound opportunity for growth? Piracy is a huge issue. 35% of U.S. NFL fans admit using unofficial streams. A League One soccer match saw over half its viewers via piracy in France. It cost the industry an estimated $28 billion a year. And it's driven by high prices, yes, but also critically by access gaps. Like the UK's Saturday 3 p.m. blackout fans literally cannot watch legally. Even multiple subscriptions costing $564 a season still miss 30% of games.
Yeah, and we can draw really powerful lessons from music and video, can't we? Early 2000s, music piracy was rampant. Spotify came along, made almost all music affordable and accessible, largely curbed it. Netflix, Hulu did similar things for video piracy. The key insight seems to be that people often pirate because it's just easier or it's the only way to get what they want. So what's the strategic play here?
The strategic play is simple but hard. You have to outcompete piracy with a superior, more accessible product. And spatial sports media is a game changer here because it allows one production to spawn multiple experiences. It perfectly lends itself to tiered service models. You can offer a premium immersive tier for the superfans, interactive 3D, multi-angle control, AR stats, a real VIP digital experience. But alongside that, offer a more accessible standard or basic tier, cheaper, maybe even free with ads. That directly competes with illegal streams by just lowering the friction to access. You can even offer team or region-specific feeds with dynamic pricing like NBA League Pass or MLS Season Pass are doing with their flexible options. Look at UFC abandoning $80 pay-per-views to go all in on a $12.99 a month streaming deal from 2026. That's the direction.
And beyond just better pricing and access, are these new spatial streams actually harder to pirate effectively?
Yes, inherently they are. Spatial 3D streams are much harder to pirate well. A fixed 2D pirated video just loses all the magic, the interactivity. Plus, robust digital rights management, Microsoft PlayReady, Apple FairPlay, Google Widevine combined with hardware protections makes ripping these sophisticated streams incredibly difficult. So for your business, to truly beat piracy, you must treat the cause, not just the symptoms. Outcompete it. Make legal options more accessible, more affordable, and frankly more engaging. A fan-centric, flexible freemium model powered by spatial media tech maximizes your audience and monetization across the entire spectrum. It converts those pirates into paying or at least ad-viewing customers.
Wow. What an incredible deep dive back into the strategic future of sports media. Looking back at all 14 episodes of the Skyrim.ai Expert series, the overarching vision for you, as leaders, it seems crystal clear. Sports consumption is rapidly moving towards an experience that is just fundamentally more immersive, more interactive, and more individualized than ever before.
Precisely. The consistent themes kept coming up, didn't they? Spatial sports media, the transformative power of AI, that convergence with Hollywood-level production, innovative new league models, and crucially, those deeply fan-centric strategies. You, as sports media professionals, you're not just spectators here. You're at the very forefront of this massive transformation. You have to strategically embrace these innovations or, frankly, risk falling behind. The tools to achieve this, they're either here today or very much on the immediate horizon.
And the upside for embracing this future looks tremendous. We're talking entirely new revenue streams, interactive subscriptions, personalized sponsor integrations, reaching larger international audiences, and building stronger, more loyal fan bases because people feel truly connected and catered to.
Yeah, the industry is unequivocally recognizing that the old one-size-fits-all approach is giving way to a far more dynamic, fan-centric, and technology-driven ecosystem. It has to.
So as we continue to push these boundaries of sports consumption, blending the personal with the communal in really novel and exciting ways, it leaves us with a question to ponder. What new forms of shared experience, what new kinds of togetherness will these incredible technologies ultimately create for all of us? We really encourage you to reflect on these profound insights and consider how they shape your next strategic moves. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Skyrim.ai was founded by veterans of the spatial media industry and is committed to advancing the field of immersive sports experiences and storytelling to fans everywhere.